Coach Seb Hines, Seb, just initial thoughts heading to Washington this weekend.
Yeah, always a tough game going to Washington. They've got a good set of players. Historically, we've done all right there in the last couple of occasions we've been to Audi Field. And yeah, that should give us a lot of confidence that we can go out there and get 3 points.
Awesome. Seb, obviously, not the result you guys wanted in Portland, but performance-wise, it's something you guys can build off of. How much kind of balance do you kind of pull, obviously, with the result going the way it did, but the performance going the way it did?
Yeah, it's one game I think where you can do a lot of good things and not get the result. And yeah, if we keep doing the right things, the fortune will favour us. I think it's so fine, the margins, the quality of this league, the parity in this league. Going to Providence Park has always been a difficult place to go play, and I thought we handled that extremely well. It's probably the quietest I've heard Providence Park since I've been there. And that's due to the performance of the players and the preparation that we went into going into the game, and the confidence we had going into this game, even with the run of results that we've had. But the reality is we didn't get anything out of it, and that's gutting. You put everything into it and you still come away with 0 points. So we need to change that. We need to get results. We've got 10 games to go. We've got some really tough games, Washington, and then coming home playing Utah, who are in good form as well. But that's what it's about, this league. You need to go out and prove yourself. You need to give absolutely everything. And when you do that, a lot of the time you do get the results. So, again, build on the performance, but looking to change the result. Yeah, and there's always something that you can do a little bit more, Although we had a great performance, there's always, 2% more that we can do. Can we stop, the Portland player getting the ball, driving and getting a free shot? So can we engage a little bit higher, stop it at source? And it's a different story. You're coming away with a point after going 1-0 down. So, yeah, the game is built on fine margins. And yeah, it just didn't happen in our favour, and we have to learn from those moments. What are we willing to take? Is a point good enough away from home? Even in those moments, last 10 minutes, we felt we had good momentum. We were still creating good opportunities. Nothing really clear cut, but enough to go out and win the game. And so we have to keep steering in the right direction, making sure everyone's on the same page. And yeah, we have to learn from it and not allow ourselves to concede a goal in the last seconds of the game.
As you look ahead now to Washington, you kind of talk about how tough of a place to play it is, a tough team. Obviously, there's a lot of history between both teams as well over the last couple of years. When you look at this current version of the Spirit, they obviously have a lot of individual game changers within their team. What do you kind of work on throughout this week in terms of kind of shutting those kind of players down?
A majority of their goals come from transition. So even when you have good possession in the attacking third, they're so quick to go from one end of the field to the other. So it's been proactive, and I think even in the Portland game, we did a good job of that. Taking away some opportunities with Sophia Wilson, who's an extremely good player in the league. And it'll be no different, the likes of Trinity Rodman and Cantori and some of the other players who are coming back from African nations might be available. And so, yeah, we need to make sure that we get end product. We obviously need to get into the attacking third to score goals, but they can be quite devastating in transition. And so we need to stop it. So counter press is going to be really important. Getting numbers behind the ball is going to be really important. But one way to stop them from scoring is us scoring as well. So end product's going to be really important to get crosses, shots, test the keeper, and ultimately try and score in those areas.
Obviously, the last month or so has been kind of tough in terms of scoring, but the last couple of games you've found a goal in each game. How much can you take away from just being able to score in consecutive games in terms of just the confidence of the team and finding that?
Yeah, I mean it's tough as well because even in the Portland game, you take Barbara off, and she's been our most potent goal scorer in the team, and we're having to kind of change the way we play and put players who are not natural finishers or natural goal scorers or attackers, and you're trying to change some of their behaviours in those moments. So that's been challenging in that sense, and yeah, we can take a lot of positivity out of the way that we scored as well. It's a good combination play, good cross. You make your own luck as well by being in the right positions. But it's about executing not just once but multiple times as well. And I think even going back to the last game, we had some good opportunities. Can we now finish those opportunities and really give us a foothold in the game instead of trying to chase the game back? After going 1-0 down. So it's just repetition, trying to encourage players to keep doing the right thing, keep putting themselves in right positions, make slight adjustments, based upon what defenders or teams are giving you, to then exploit that in that given moment.